What is up, Geeks and Geekettes? It's another episode of the Countdown to the Geekcast. I'm Steady.
I'm JC.
And we're here to talk to you about a variety of different topics today. Number one, you know what today is?
Remember.
The 5th of November. Happy Guy Fawkes Day to people who are lighting mannequins of Guy Fawkes on fire. Yes, that's how they celebrate, by blowing stuff up. Blowing stuff up that look like people, which is fun. I don't know why we don't do that.
That turns into the Purge series. That's basically what happens. Let's not get into that.
So happy November 5th, everyone. And we got a lot of other topics and subjects to talk about today. We're going to get into The Walking Dead because we had a very big sort of milestone with that TV show. We have our weekend poll results. Thank you for everyone who voted on Facebook. Our weekend poll question was, which trailer are you most anticipating? Either the next season of Game of Thrones, that's season 8.
The final season.
Oh, the final season.
That's right.
Or Avengers 4 / Annihilation
/ Endgame / The Last Avenger / insert title here and see which one's right.
/ Hulk better show up this time.
/ introduction of the X-Men and Deadpool.
Boom.
And Fantastic Four. We'll see.
We're going to talk a little bit of DC Comics Titans on the DC Universe. Hope you guys are watching that. And then finally, there's a big event going down in our hometown this weekend, Celebrity FanFest. We're going to talk about that at the end of our show. But first, let's talk a little bit about V for Vendetta.
Great movie.
Fantastic movie.
Yeah. It was, I don't know, when that movie first came out, I remember some of the controversy around it because it was supposed to come out on the 5th of November.
Right.
And right before it's supposed to come out, there was a horrible
bombing
at a train station in London, I believe. And
That's right.
That was like a main plot point of the movie. So it got pushed back, kind of sad, but I see the reason why. But when it came out, I didn't know what to expect of it. I wasn't too familiar with the V comics, but it was really good. It surprised me. And Natalie Portman especially. She was amazing in that movie.
Bald Natalie Portman.
I always appreciate being a Superman guy when the Lex Luthor actor will actually shave his head for the role.
There you go.
Michael Rosenbaum, Kevin Spacey. But, or even Jesse Eisenberg. I don't know if he really did or not.
That's right.
But for Natalie Portman to do that, that movie really, I feel, showed how great an actress she really is. So the movie was just awesome. The action, everything.
The action, the special effects.
Oh yeah.
The fight scenes, and it had a little bit of everything. It had just enough comedy, a lot of drama, a great twist when you find out Natalie Portman is being tortured by V this entire time.
Yeah, that was a shocker.
Great twist.
That was insane.
And then an amazing ending.
Yes, definitely, with the fireworks and the subway blow up. Sorry to bring that up again, but yeah, that happens.
Yeah. But V for Vendetta, they made November 5th popular for Americans.
Yeah, even though they always refer to us as the Civil War in the former United States in that movie. But that was one of those movies, in comic movies you see it, that was so good and so perfect by itself, it didn't need a sequel. And I hope they never come out and make one.
No.
That's one of those I think we get ruined. There's really no way you can do it.
You can make a sequel. But yeah. I didn't read the graphic novel either, but I don't know how many stories there are with V. Perhaps somebody can reboot the thing and
start over. But as a direct sequel to that story, no way. That was just the perfect setting, the perfect movie. Here's his whole story. It gave plenty of backstory on him and into what he was looking to do. Yeah, it was amazing.
Do you know who the actors that played V?
What's his name? He was Agent Smith in The Matrix.
Agent Smith?
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
He was the voice of Megatron in Transformers.
So you know the guy?
I know the guy. His name escapes me right now. We're recording this late. I'm still celebrating my Titans beating the Cowboys today, but that's another story. So.
He's kidding. This means DC Titans, not the actual Tennessee.
We'll go with that.
Yeah,
I got bragging rights for 4 years. It's great. Oh, what's his name?
The reason why I asked you is because I forgot myself.
Yeah.
But Agent Smith.
You're
probably look it up right now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to look it up right now. So, You can keep talking.
So V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
Like I said, made November 5th.
Hugo Weaving.
Hugo Weaving.
How do I forget that?
How did I forget that?
Yeah.
Red Skull.
Red Skull, that's right.
That's right. Red Skull. One of the very few movies where you have a main actor in a mask and he never takes that mask off throughout the entire film. You never see actual Hugo Weaving. And I'm not just talking about CG, Megatron Hugo Weaving, but Hugo's in that mask, that Guy Fawkes mask, throughout the entire film, and you never really see his face throughout.
I think there's one scene where you do, but that guy, he was posing as an informant to the police, but he was giving them wrong information. Mm-hmm. So you kind of see his face, but it's like a little bandaged up. He has like prosthetics on, but it is Hugo Weaving's face. You see that it's him. But then they lead police somewhere, if I'm not mistaken, and then they get pissed off when they realize that it was him just throwing him off the trail. So there's one scene where you see his face, but other than that, it was almost like he was just kind of running his own. It was so intricately planned out. That was the amazing part of it. It was so well thought out, his whole plan.
If you haven't seen it, you're missing out. It's a graphic novel that it wasn't. It didn't start with DC, but DC later purchased the title.
It was Vertigo Comics, I believe. Right?
I want to say it wasn't. You might be right. It might be Vertigo.
Comment if we're wrong. Yeah.
But happy 5th of November to everyone. It's also the day that Doc got the idea for the flux capacitor.
November 5th, 1955.
There you go.
Mistaken. That's right.
That's right.
Slipped off his toilet.
Yeah. November 5th. We need to do a thing where we look at like every day of the year and find out what like nerd connection it has. Yeah. There's got to be one for
how that date is like the central point of every Back to the Future timeline that sprouts up from all three movies as well. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, happy November 5th. That was a long second for just the introduction. Moving on. The Walking Dead. If you're not a huge Walking Dead fan, you're not the only one. This guy is not a big one either.
I have so many shows I watch. Forgive me.
And he's not lying. That's truth right there.
Yeah.
But Walking Dead has had a loss of viewership over the last few years, and it's not for any bad reason. I think you just get to a certain point where you're tired of seeing your heroes beaten and tortured.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. But I feel it has had a little bit of a resurgence, and it's gotten back to a little bit of what made the show great around seasons 2 or 3. It got back to sort of the family sort of aspect of it and the drama between different tribes and whatnot. Literally the last few seasons have just been Negan kicking around and killing people left and right, which is fine. I like the drama. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is a fantastic actor.
Mm-hmm. Now he's showing up in Tekken 7 too, by the way, so he's in DLC, yeah.
There you go. So Jeffrey Dean Morgan's fantastic. He's doing a great job. He's still on the show, by the way. Mm-hmm. Not any big spoilers that you might not have heard of, but Andrew Lincoln isn't on the show anymore. I'm not going to say how he's not on the show anymore. If you want to find out, please go watch last night's episode of The Walking Dead. The thing that's very interesting is that The Walking Dead is doing something it really hasn't done before in this magnitude. Andrew Lincoln's no longer on the show, and we got an announcement from AMC just last night that he's going to be making spin-off films, big budget, full release, possibly theatrical films, as many as 3. So get ready for the Rick Grimes Walking Dead trilogy. This is not a joke. I don't know if it's funny. It's just very surprising.
As how far can you go with this, man? That's one of those things. That's one of those TV shows where I haven't watched it, but yeah, I agree. But viewership is lost. How far can you go with people running from zombies or getting beat up all the time?
You'd be surprised.
Yeah. So, but I mean, that's one of the surprising things. Like Supernatural, even it's on its like almost 15th season now. It's
Sure.
still going. Same actors. James E. Morgan.
And Jensen Ackles.
And Jensen. Well, yeah. Adrian Padalecki. No.
Adrian Padalecki.
Padalecki and Jensen Ackles are all the same actors, but the actor playing Negan,
Jeffrey
Dean Morgan, played their father in Supernatural for like the first 5 seasons. He was a central part of that show. So there's a little link between Supernatural and Walking Dead. But with TV shows like that, it's how do you maintain that for so long? Usually after 5 or 6 seasons, you start to see, okay, actors have their name out. They want to do other projects, which makes shows like Supernatural, like The Walking Dead, like Smallville, that made it as long as they did, just that much more amazing. So because you're able to keep that cast for the most part and still get a lot of viewership. So
yeah,
maybe the viewership's dropped, but I think for what I've always appreciated in my generation is that when we were kids, all these geeky things that we love, comics, we didn't really get to see that on TV, on movies, and that be a popular thing. Now the technology is there. We basically grew up and started making it ourselves. And I think I can appreciate the fact that it's actually out there. So
there you go.
Yeah. But
so big news from AMC, big news from Andrew Lincoln and Scott Gimple, the showrunner, the head showrunner for The Walking Dead. You know how all this started?
What was that?
Andrew Lincoln was filming his last few episodes on the show, and he just had a thought, just an idea. And he went over to Scott Gimple, who's the head honcho over there, making sure the show's getting produced and everything's going well, production-wise. And he just said, what if we did a movie one day? And Scott kind of paused for a second and said, I think you got something there.
Yeah.
So they filmed between the months of May and November. So this probably happened around October, November, when they had this conversation last year. Is that right? I think that's right. That's probably wrong. But, oh no, November is when they're filming the end of the season. So this probably happened earlier in the summer when they were having this conversation. And now here we are. Trilogy of Rick Grimes movies just featuring Rick as a solo character going off on his adventures or something in this apocalyptic post-zombie, world. Mm-hmm. So we'll see where that goes. As for the show is still continuing. JC asked me earlier,
how long do you think it will last? And
I said, it's never going to end. There's no end in sight. If you do not like The Walking Dead, that's totally fine. It's your opinion. I and many others are still watching the show just because it's no longer a TV show. It's more like a relative in the family. You got to see them, every holiday that comes up or every birthday that happens. So that's what The Walking Dead is now. It's more like an institution. It's like The Simpsons. Nobody's watching The Simpsons, but it's not going anywhere. So, The Walking Dead's still going on. It's still going strong, actually. The weird thing that they're doing now is they're doing a major time jump. They've done time jumps in the past, weeks, months at a time between seasons, or even between mid-season finales, between like fall and spring. However, this one's going to be a 6-year time jump from last night's episode. So all the characters, all the survivors, the Alexandrians, anyone who's still on the show, Daryl, 6 years from last night's episode is where the show is going to take place. And the major change with regards to that time jump is Judith, Rick's daughter / maybe Shane's. We're still not really sure on that. Judith is now 6 years older, and apparently she's one hell of a shot. So she's sort of like the Billy the Kid of the show now or something. Either way, this is new territory for the show, and I'm interested to see how it goes and where it goes from here. But I don't know. Like I said, this is unprecedented for the show going this far in advance to, push the story along. Really, I thought zombies wouldn't last this long. They were sort of decaying and getting smaller in stature over seasons, and that was sort of meant to depict that the zombies can only be self-sustained for so long. After a certain amount of time,
they start to deteriorate themselves.
The decay just takes over. But 6 years in the future, we still got zombies.
Hey, they're still pumping out Resident Evil games.
There you go.
So, Planet of the Apes movies. I mean, hey, this stuff, these post-apocalyptic worlds, you never know how they're going to go. They can just keep running content out. So,
boom.
Yeah.
And that's The Walking Dead. Like I said, if you haven't seen last night's episode, please go check it out. It was a great way to send Andrew Lincoln off riding into the sunset. Whether or not he's riding off alive or dead or legless or limbless, you'll have to find out for yourself. We don't want to spoil it tonight, so go check it out. Yeah. Next on the agenda, we had a weekend poll question for all you geeks and geekettes out there, and it was quite a big one.
I can read it for you if you want.
Various media sources. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Believed by many sources in the media that 2 of the most anticipated trailers will be released by the end of the year. Which one are you most excited for? So your 2 choices. You had Game of Thrones, the final season, the trailer for that.
Season 8.
Which we still don't even have a date.
We do not.
That. Yeah.
We do know it'll be in the first half of next year.
It's going to be like June 29th or something.
I'm not even lying. That was an announcement from HBO. They said Game of Thrones will return sometime in the first 6 months of 2019.
This is turning into like a South Park joke sometimes. The other option was Marvel's Avengers 4. We've heard slash Annihilation slash Endgame slash The Last Avenger slash finally it's out. Slash Thanos snaps his fingers again. I don't know.
Slash Avengers Assemble.
Yeah, Avengers Assemble.
Just call it Avengers Assemble already.
Well, the poll results, we got a good number of votes, and 60% are waiting for Avengers 4.
40%, obviously, for Game of Thrones.
Season 8.
It's a pretty close.
Pretty close. Those are
results.
2 most anticipated things of next year. Let's face it. I mean, yes, Captain Marvel's coming out. We all want to see that 90s nostalgia. But we all know that's the bridge into Avengers 4. That's what it is. That's going to complete the story. It's like, okay, once Captain Marvel comes out, we're like, all right, brand new Avengers. What's the hype? Let's get it going.
Yeah.
That's just the placeholder to hold us over and see how they lead into that. So, yeah. I'm
going to ask you. I think I already know your answer. Your answer is Avengers because you're getting into Game of Thrones.
Getting into Game of Thrones, but I'm so far behind.
He'll catch up.
I'll catch up. For a while, I didn't have HBO until they brought AT&T fiber into my neighborhood, and I got like a 3-year deal on it.
Woohoo!
But yeah,
Sponsorship.
Sponsorship.
Shout out.
I'm so behind on a lot of things. I'm now, thank you DC Universe. I am watching all of Young Justice from the very beginning, something that I missed out on years ago, and to go along with all the other shows that my wife and I watch. But plus doing the WrestleCast, I have a lot of wrestling to watch too.
There you go.
But yeah, Avengers 4 just that took over the comic movie scene this past year.
It did.
Yeah, and I mean DC was basically like, you know what? We're just going to wait till Christmas and take with Aquaman. Although right now, Teen Titans Go to the Movie is the best DC movie of the year. I'm proud to say that.
All right. So far.
So far,
because there's only been that one.
Yeah.
Right?
You're right, that one. But ever since Infinity War ended, we got Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is great comic relief, but then it puts you right back into Infinity War with the snap and see.
It was a good stepping stone.
It was a good stepping stone. So where does Captain Marvel fit in? And then we're all waiting for Avengers 4.
Only time will tell.
Yep.
I'm going to disagree.
For you.
Only because Game of Thrones is... I hope you viewers and geeks out there hopefully agree with me. I'm going to say Game of Thrones is probably the best show ever on television. I hear a lot of people like.
I'm an Animaniacs guy, so that's the greatest show of all time.
Okay.
It was Fabu.
So, Best drama then.
Ooh.
There's a few shows where you have to separate them because of the level of excellence and quality and writing and acting are just across the board top of their game. I think Breaking Bad was probably on the top of my list when it was out.
People love the way that show was put together.
Exactly. Yeah. Breaking Bad kept raising the bar every season, and I've said it on the show before. When the series finale happened, I thought to myself, there's no way they can write an episode that's going to live up to the expectations of this entire show. I was dead wrong. Mm-hmm. That series finale was nearly flawless, perfect. It just had everything in it. It tied up every loose end. It ended in such a beautiful and powerful way that it's one of the greatest shows of all time.
I think that's what happens when you have people around the show that care about it and love it. And I'm anticipating that same thing when The Big Bang Theory ends this season. So hard to believe that's the last season. They made it 12 seasons too. Another show that made it as far. But when you have people that truly care about the show, production, actors, everything, if it all comes together perfectly, those are the great TV shows.
And Game of Thrones is sort of on another level. It's no longer a TV show. It's this next season, which I'm going to say will start sometime in April. That's my guess.
That's a good guess.
It's going to have 6 movie-like episodes. Each of these episodes are worth more than $10 million. These are budgets for films, full feature films with theatrical releases. And yet those are episodes of this TV show. And the writing has been, depending on who you're talking to, the writing's been on or off last season. I personally loved every decision that they had. And based on leaks or expectations or where you foresee the show going next year, I have high expectations for next season. So the thing that's going to put this keep in the upper echelon of TV shows for me is whether or not they can deliver and exceed those expectations. If they meet those expectations, it's still going to be one of the top 5 shows of all time. If they exceed those expectations, if they're still able to bring an element of surprise, still tie up all these crazy loose ends, still give the fans what they want, still keep them guessing. If they're able to achieve all that in a satisfactory manner, then it's just a great accomplishment and a wonderful achievement, and I can't wait. So, in conclusion...
I'll say it's amazing to me HBO is throwing a lot of money at this series. They're really banking on it, especially because they recently got out of the boxing world.
That's right.
They announced they're getting out of that. So my question for you people out there, you feel free to comment on this. After Game of Thrones finally airs, this series is over, what project would you love HBO to take up next in geek culture?
You can't say Watchmen because that's already in progress.
Something comics, something... anything out there. What would you think something as epic as Game of Thrones, what would you love HBO to take over next?
Boom.
So,
yeah.
And I'll ask you that same question once Game of Thrones ends as well.
So thank you to everyone that voted. Avengers 4 did get the win. Mm-hmm. But in case you didn't hear or in case you were wondering, each of those trailers, both Avengers 4 and Game of Thrones, are expected to be released by the end of this year. So it's already November 5th. We're down to like a month and some change. And hopefully we get those pretty soon. We might get...
my guess is Avengers will be when Wreck-It Ralph 2 comes out.
That's a good guess.
That's my guess.
All right.
So, yeah.
I was going to say for sure by like Bumblebee or Aquaman that weekend.
Which is same week in Christmas time.
And so is Deadpool.
So is Once Upon a Deadpool. The only reason I say Wreck-It Ralph is because they're all Disney properties. So that would be the best way to do it.
We might as well call out that story. We ran with the story today. We got some more information regarding Once Upon a Deadpool. The PG-13 version of Deadpool 2. you're already thinking, why? Why are they going to do that?
Why not?
Probably because my son asked Ryan Reynolds to, and he said yes. That's a lie. That never happened.
Yeah.
But
how do you know? You don't check his email, do you?
I do not. He might have.
Yeah.
December 12th, Once Upon a Deadpool will be re-released into theaters. It's a PG-13 version of Deadpool 2. How they're going to do that, nobody knows, except for Ryan and the director and the writers.
And Fred Savage, because I really think they're going to go. I think they're going to go Princess Bride with it, and he's going to be reading him a story and tone down the violence.
This is going to be interesting.
The sex and everything, yeah.
There are some new scenes added. They didn't give a lot of information about them, but Ryan Reynolds and the writing team for Deadpool 2 specifically went out and created a new additional content for this version of the movie. So it's running from December 12th all the way through Christmas Eve, December 24th. So you have a little over a week to go check it out. Mm-hmm. And
$1 from each ticket, I believe, benefits the F Cancer Foundation or charity that Ryan Reynolds has. Usually it'll be the actual F word, but he's calling it fudge cancer for this PG-13 role. So it is going to a good cause.
It's going to a great cause. Yeah. So take your kids who didn't go see Deadpool 2. You might have already taken them.
Who are at least 13 years old.
Take the family. Take the grandparents. They're all going to enjoy this, and it's all going to a good cause.
Yes.
It's all going to cancer research and the Cancer Foundation. Did Ryan Reynolds head that up?
I believe so.
I think he did.
He started, yeah.
So, great cause. Go check it out, and it's a big slap in the face to the Transformers universe as well as DC Comics, because it's releasing on the same day as those other two films. So,
no, it's before it, I think.
Is it?
It's before it. Maybe
a week before it.
Aquaman and Bumblebee are December 21st.
Okay, so
it is before that.
It is before it.
It's, well, we know Fox is going soon to Disney, so this is kind of part of their last hurrah. We have this movie. We have Dark Phoenix, whenever that comes out. And maybe a Gambit movie if they're going to make that after all. So
They will.
They will.
Jericho will make sure they will. Shout out.
Yeah, he just wants to see Channing Tatum. That's it.
Next on our agenda is Titans, DC Comics Titans. We are 4 episodes into Titans. And it's on the DC Universe.
Yeah. Which if you haven't gotten by now and you're a big fan, wow.
Check it out.
Just the content on there, I could spend a day with it and get my money's worth. I'll start with my thoughts. We're 4 episodes in. And I will say, it's going to seem slow at first when you're watching it. But what I'm enjoying is that they are really, really concerned with character development for every single character that is part of the Titans. From Robin to Raven to Starfire, they're making Starfire look like a badass in this show.
Yeah.
She is just crazy. And then Beast Boy. And even Doom Patrol. 4th episode talked about Doom Patrol. If you haven't, spoiler alert, we're talking about Titans if you haven't watched it yet. I've enjoyed the character build-up. I've enjoyed you really caring about these characters. You get their backstories as well. Although, trying to find out what the rift is between Batman and Robin at this point, that's like the big mystery right now. So,
which we like that.
Yes, we do enjoy that. So, but I'm liking the effects. I'm liking the adult language. They're sparing no expense. It's violent. Then you got Alan Richman, I believe his name is Rickman, and Minka Kelly as Hawk and Dove. Minka Kelly still looks hot. Oh, yes. Loved her in Friday Night Lights. And of course, Alan has ties to Smallville. He was Aquaman in the Smallville TV series as well, a few episodes. So it is pretty cool to see him in that role. But yeah, he really makes Hawk look old in that role. Hawk is just ready to go, So
yeah.
But it is pretty cool to see Robin in that role as a detective. It's a different thing. He really sells it, and man, he's just violent. I think when you think of Robin, most of the time you never expect that from him.
Yeah.
You expect that from maybe, if we're looking at the New 52 movies, Damian, son of Batman, he had a real violent upbringing.
Jason was kind of that way as well.
Yeah. So I'm interested. I'm invested in the show. I like that they didn't give me all of it at once. They're making me wait week to week. even though I paid for it. That's fine. I can deal. But I'm really interested to see how they delve more into Dick Grayson's backstory and how Jason Todd comes into play, because we know he's been cast as well.
Cannot wait. Yeah. Oh my gosh. The first live action, as far as I know, I've never seen another live action version of Jason Todd, which means if we get Jason Todd into a live action series, Red Hood is not far away, and Red Hood is one of my favorite storylines in a comic book or video. They did the animated movie Under the Red Hood, which was fantastic.
Interesting trivia tidbit. This is the first time Raven has been portrayed in a live-action TV series or movie.
Very nice.
So I found that out today, actually. I thought that was pretty cool.
Very cool. Mm-hmm. I do like the show and how they are portraying all the characters. I do like the fight choreography.
Yes.
The action sequences are fantastic. I do like most of the special effects. Fake Tiger's looking really fake.
Yeah, well,
but what can you do?
It's better than I could make. I just hand draw it on paint,
Yeah. I do like the storylines. I do like the characters. So far, the story is really interesting and engaging. I can't wait to see where it goes. We've been getting little glimpses of Bruce Wayne every now and then. Mm-hmm. So I'm interested not to see him on the show as like a major character, but it's like slowly building up, like you said, this reveal on what's the main event that caused this rift between Dick Grayson and Bruce. And so I'm interested to see exactly how far they're going to take this relationship between those two.
And I hope, honestly, we never see Batman on the show.
I want to see him once.
Maybe, but if they can get the rights away. I don't know how the rights work with NBC on that, but
yeah.
I like that they're keeping the mystery of it, and this show is about Robin. It's about his story. It's about where he's going.
Agreed.
And so I don't know. I feel like if you throw Batman in there, it kind of overshadows it. I'll compare it to Young Justice. As great as Young Justice is so far, I'm just starting on it. Sometimes I feel like when Batman and Superman and the Justice League come into it, they're trying to like overshadow it. Maybe that's part of the build-up. Don't spoil it for me. Don't spoil it for me.
See what happens in the end.
So I feel like with this show, you're doing such a great job at building these characters up. I think the one link to Batman Grayson has had is he's made a phone call to Alfred Pennyworth for help, but that's about it. Yeah. So let that build up. Let's find out what that rift is, and maybe it's a series of text messages or phone calls, but you never see him on screen. Maybe not till later on down the line.
All I want is one flashback of Robin throwing his cape at Bruce in the Batsuit, cape and cowl and all. So I'm curious to see...
Maybe a silhouette or something?
I really want to see the style of this Batman.
Oh, okay.
Because if it's Keaton's style, then there's a whole another load of questions you're going to get from that.
What if it's Ben Affleck?
What if it is Affleck?
Wow.
What if it's Christian Bale and like another universe? Or there could be a number of things. What if it's like Adam West's suit from the 66 series? Then you're like, oh my God, what is happening here? What if they just do the animated series and make a live action version of it?
That could be cool.
Just throw a nod to the animated series and do a Batsuit in the style of the cartoon. And I think fans would love to just see that.
Yeah.
Don't want Batman on the show full time or even part time. One flashback of him in a suit, him and Robin. Oof, can you imagine them actually fighting against one another for like a sequence?
Save that for a future season, really build that up. That'd be awesome.
I wanted to say we've never seen Batman and Robin really go head to head. I think in the movie they sort of like fought over Poison Ivy.
Yeah, Batman and Robin were talking. That's about it.
I don't count that.
Yeah, well.
That wasn't really Robin. I don't think.
Do we count Batman Forever too?
Yeah, we're not counting those.
Okay, yeah, see.
Because he was Robin, just wearing a Nightwing suit. Come on, what's happening here? Anyways.
You mentioned Nightwing. Do you think they would bring Nightwing out in this Titans
show? They're going to. They're saving it. We knew from the get-go that this was going to be a Nightwing-led group. That Titans was going to focus around Dick Grayson and his journey to becoming Nightwing. So the end of the season, or flash forward like in 2 seasons and show him in the suit, and then we can come back and figure out how we get to that point. Sort of like Oliver Queen becoming Green Arrow, you know?
Yeah.
Something like that. I'm fine with that as well.
Now, also noticeably absent is Cyborg.
He's coming.
He's coming.
Cyborg's coming.
Either he's coming, or my theory is correct that this ties into the DC Extended Universe, movie universe.
Booyah.
But I'm holding out hope that I'm right on that. So,
well, we already have a Cyborg, though.
They have cast one?
They have cast him.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm
and
wrong.
it's not Ray Fisher.
Ah.
Maybe it could be a young Ray Fisher. I don't know.
Maybe. And
Maybe.
then Cyborg joins later on?
Yeah,
It's
but
possible.
Cyborg will be in Doom Patrol, which will be released sometime next year. I think it's on the calendar that we posted last month.
Which is supposed to spin off. I think it's going to be out after the first season of Titans finishes, because this is supposed to spin off from that.
It'll be after the first half of Young Justice.
Young Justice Outsiders.
Young
that's
Justice, The Outsiders, which will be released. I'm still holding on hope that it will be released at the end of December and not early January. I know it doesn't sound like that much of a...
You want a nice Christmas present.
I want a great Christmas present.
Yeah,
or a
that's what you
New
want.
Year's present. Just do it New Year's Eve. I will be in front of the TV watching Young Justice, the first episode. Well, I don't know. I think they're going to release like 2 or 3 episodes a week.
Is that what they're going to do?
I think so.
Okay, yeah.
Because there's a lot of episodes, and they're breaking it into 2 parts, and I think each half was going to reside over like 5 or 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how they're doing it just yet. They should release that pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
We will see. But that was our talk on Titans and a little bit of Young Justice, because you always got to talk a little bit of Young Justice.
At least you do, until it comes out.
Yes. Finally, the big news of this week is that in our hometown of San Antonio, Texas, Celebrity FanFest is going down this weekend. That's November 10th and 11th on the north side of San Antonio at the JW Marriott venue. There, you're going to get half of the Justice League, Ben Affleck, Ray Fisher, and Aquaman himself, Jason Momoa, in attendance, signing autographs, taking photos with fans. And Saturday the 10th, Aquaman has various panels.
He's a busy man
throughout
that day.
the day.
Yeah, I think he's only there on Saturday. But this Fan Fest, thank you for putting this on. This was a hell of a surprise. This
Yeah.
just kind of came out of nowhere, but I'm glad it did, honestly. We were all gearing up and getting ready to talk Alamo City Comic Con, and then all of a sudden Celebrity Fan Fest gets announced, and Jason Momoa is coming, Ray Fisher, and Ben Affleck. It's like, wow.
Batman himself,
Batman himself.
as far as we know.
I'm holding out hope, maybe. Well, it's too late, but maybe
Batman from Justice League.
Yeah.
Batman from BVS.
Yeah. Hey.
There you
It's
go.
not a bad Batman.
No.
No. Yeah, Momoa is making himself available pretty much the entire day on Saturday, which is pretty damn cool. Photo ops, autographs.
The galore.
They're really splitting this up. I mean, you can go on and buy your tickets. You can buy, there's like 4 different sessions for your photo op. So as long as you buy it and you show up at your session, you're good to go. I've never actually been to the JW Marriott Resort, so I don't know how big a venue it is, but
It's a massive resort.
yeah.
I've
is it
not
really?
seen the exhibit hall, so
Okay.
we'll see how that goes. But for all you individuals that have not heard about Celebrity FanFest and you're interested in learning more, look no further. Let's see here. Kids 6 to 12, it's only going to cost you $10 for a one-day ticket. Children 5 and under, absolutely free. You won't find that in a lot of places. Saturday, the event is open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sunday, it's open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And we got some ticket prices for you.
Sure do.
After 2:30 p.m. on each of those days, it's only going to cost you $35 to get in. You don't get that type of offer from a lot of conventions.
Half day thing? No, not really.
Full day for a single general ticket is $60. Full 2 days both days, Saturday and Sunday, is only going to cost you $99, and there's a
That's a VIP admission. Yes.
And VIP admission as well.
Yep.
And there are several other combos and tickets and pricing, but we're going to give you the major one for the weekend. You get a 2-day ticket, photo ops with Ben Affleck as well as Jason Momoa, and you're also...
That's admission, and that's for 2 people.
There you go.
$425.
$425. You're saving a lot of money there.
Yeah.
Trust us. But go take a look at the website, pmxevents.com.
pmxevents.com. They have the full list. You can buy tickets there. We're also getting guests from
Stargate
and Stargate Atlantis. Right?
Yes,
yep.
Joe Flanagan and Jewel State from Stargate Atlantis will be there, as well as David Anders and Ali, I'm going to get this wrong, McCulka from iZombie.
Apologies if we got that wrong.
Are going to be there.
Yeah.
There's also going to be a lot of other vendors. There's a lot of other cosplay events. There's comedy shows as well. And if you go Saturday, we're not joking, Jason Momoa is going to have multiple panels throughout the day. And if there's anyone you want to see at a convention or during a panel, trust me, I've seen him at San Diego Comic-Con twice now during the DC panel. It's Jason Momoa because he's one hell of an entertaining guy.
Yeah, he's going to be doing 5 stage appearances on Saturday. According to the notes here that they have on their website, he's going to be introducing the latest Aquaman movie trailer.
Boom.
Now, I don't know if that's the San Diego Comic-Con trailer that you saw, that I'm refusing to watch. I know they released it, but I don't want to see him in the suit till the movie comes out. So
you're going to offend him when you close your eyes.
Well, I'm going to tell him, hey, look, you've been waiting so long to see this live action and anticipating it. I'm like, you know what? Surprise me with the movie.
I hope he brings the trident.
I'll take a picture of the trident.
There you go.
Yeah, but then again, my wife will be one of those people that I just want a picture with him by myself.
Even though his is like 5-pointed, so it's not a trident.
Yeah, I don't.
It's fine. He still looks cool.
Content, I think it is.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
We'll go with that. But that is sort of the general news around Celebrity FanFest. The countdown to the geeks are all going to be in attendance.
We will be there, yes.
Full coverage for you guys. If you cannot make it to the show, we're going to get as many photos and videos, and probably also do a live show from the event as well, from the venue. So if you cannot make it for any reason, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as YouTube to get full coverage from this week's events at Celebrity FanFest. And thank you to the founder, Bob Wills, who is going to be talking with us on Wednesday of this week.
Yes,
we're going to do a sit down with him. We're going to talk about his thoughts around the event, some more announcements around the event, and what the future holds for future PMX events.
Hint, he has teased that he is planning the biggest Comic-Con San Antonio has ever seen for next year.
Interesting.
But he's not making an official announcement. He's not making the official announcement as far as when and where it is until next year. So, I don't know. Maybe we can get that out of him.
Yeah.
Probably not, though.
But that's just a little bit from Celebrity FanFest. Yep. We cannot wait for this event to happen. Half the Justice League are in town. That's insane. You can't get all of them anywhere else except for San Diego once a year. But half of them are going to be here in San Antonio. Maybe next year we get the next half.
Hey, I'm all there if Henry Cavill's there. So
you're forgetting Wonder Woman,
Gal Gadot, of course,
and the Flash,
but being this big Superman guy that I am, so
is he still Superman?
He better be.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
Why don't we ask Ben?
Well, that's right. Let's see if Ben even knows.
Ben, blink once if yes, and then wink if no, or we'll figure it out.
It's props to Henry Cavill for trolling us on social media with that, by the way.
He's a great guy. He's hilarious.
He's fun. He's having fun with it, and I appreciate that.
Jason Momoa, Ray Fisher, Cyborg, and Ben Affleck, the Batman himself, the Dark Knight, in town next weekend. And we have more coverage coming this week with Bob Wills, the founder of Celebrity FanFest. And we're going to have more coverage from the event, and all the geeks from the Geekcast are going to be in attendance. Dusty.
Should be. Dusty, come on now, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Happy November 5th, everyone. This has been a good, great episode. Glad you could join us. Be sure to follow us everywhere on social media, especially Facebook. And also, get on YouTube. Follow the Countdown City WrestleCast. What are you doing with the Countdown City WrestleCast this week?
For this week, we're going to be recapping Crown Jewel, which was, I mean, the lead-up was controversial. We heard all the news was, what we think of the show, how good or bad it was. Feel free to comment, let us know. And PWI, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, released their top 100 women's wrestlers of this year, of the past year.
Spoiler alert, JC's not number one.
No, I'm not. But then I'd probably get my ass kicked by everybody on that list. So it's remarkable to me that list started 10 years ago as 50 women, and they had trouble getting 50 women on that. Now they have 100, and they had trouble figuring out the top 100 in the world. So
progress.
Off the heels of WWE's evolution, everything that's gone on with women's wrestling since then, it's pretty amazing. We're going to break down that list. What parts we agree with it, parts we don't agree with it, maybe who's noticeably missing from it. You got to watch to find out.
Sounds like a long episode.
We'll see.
They're going to get
as
into...
As long as Tommy doesn't start talking and going off.
Yeah. Shout out to Tommy.
Shout out Tommy.
Doing a great job on the show, Tom.
Yeah, you're having fun, man. I appreciate it. So.
They're going to talk about each wrestler, and they're each going to have a list of their 100 and the order. It's going to be great.
Yeah, we're going to have fun with it. So stay tuned. We're going to be doing that. Of course, we'll be talking about War Games and Survivor Series and some other events this year. So stay tuned and follow us on Twitter at @CCG_WrestleCast as well.
For the Countdown to the Geekcast, my name is Steady.
And I'm JC. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Have a good night.